car parts and the service. Car parts and the service segment of your pre-scene analysis. Uh, Please keep your mics mute. If you would like to say something, then you can unmute. Dealership buy the parts that they use in servicing and repair from wholesalers who specialize in supplying the motor trade. Um, okay, dealerships buy the parts that they use in servicing and repair from wholesalers who specialize in supplying the motor parts. So there are the two sources of acquiring the parts by the dealership. One is the car manufacturers themselves, and the other one wholesaler suppliers. So wholesalers buy parts in bulk, uh, importing parts from many different countries. Or it might be like you might be just be getting it from the wholesaler, you might not getting it from the manufacturer. We will see that dealership must use parts made by car manufacturers. So it looks like you are not directly purchasing from the car manufacturers. You are buying it from the wholesalers. Dealership must use parts made by the car manufacturers, approved makers on a car under warranty. Otherwise, the warranty could be rendered invalid. So wholesalers can also supply the good quality generic parts from the makers who are not approved. Now here is the catch that when the car is not uh, anymore in warranty, then you could go for those generic good quality parts which they are claiming are as good as the parts approved by the car manufacturer. Their makers often claim that their products match or even exceed the quality of the parts from the approved maker. For example, several companies make brake pads that fit uh, uh, Barto's Barto Motors cars. Only one of those maker is approved by Barto Motor, but independent tests have shown that all are at least as good as the approved brake pads, and some are better. So here the point is not that uh, that the if the those parts are better than the approved parts, then it would be fine. No, it would not be fine. The idea is that actually, if you would not be using the parts which have been approved by the manufacturer, that then could cause the owners to lose their expensive warranty. Why I'm saying expensive? Because that warranty is giving you a coverage which otherwise could be costly. I'm sorry, I'm having a little flu, so that's why. Okay. So generic parts are usually cheaper than approved parts. Cuppcar sometimes buy generic part for use on cars that are no longer under warranty. So that's why I was saying that there are the chances that the mechanic working on the car, they might not have a clear idea that the car is under warranty or not, or there might be some confusion. So they mistakenly even, you know, put a generic part in the car, uh, and that might then result into a claim by the customer that they have lost the warranty, and they might claim for the same warranty from you, and you might have to buy them a warranty. So that would be causing you a that is called the wastage and additional. That so for that you might be having some provision if it happens in the workshop, and passes the cost saving to onto the customer. Dealerships are also equipped to carry out the repair to bodywork. Cars that have been involved in collision or minor uh, scraps require specialized equipment to repair them properly. So dealership buy car parts in bulk and import from which are import from the other countries actually. Uh, I don't know those wholesalers are in your own country or those are outside the country. Or wholesalers buy parts in bulk, importing parts from many different countries. So perhaps you are not directly importing, or you might be doing it like directly as well. So when you know that the parts are imported, so it would be um, exposing your company to the currency exchange risk. So you know that the other country would be having a different currency than your country. So you have bought certain parts, and now the prices have changed. So that could that could cause the changes in the prices. Like you have bought some parts and now the prices have gone down. So you cannot charge the customer for the prices that you have paid for those parts. You will have to, charge the price which is prevailing in the market. So you might be incurring the losses. So inventory management is very important. TQM again, just in time inventory concept is very important because holding the inventory of the parts would expose your company to not only to to the risk of this currency exchange risk, but also that it would be adding to your working capital. So generic parts are cheaper, can be used after warranty is expired. However, staff shall be careful that these are not used for cars under warranty. Each dealership has a modern spray booth that can accommodate a car or any of its body panels. A technician applies the paint and clear the coating using a spray gun. This is a skilled task because the paint must be applied carefully and in several thin layers. The booths are ventilated and heated so that paint dries quickly, speeding up the process and enhancing the quality of the finish. So the paint job is another skilled work. Um, most of your staff are the skilled workers, and it is not easy to find the skilled workers in any developed country. Safety of the employee working in these booths shall be ensured. That's very important. You need to ensure all the safety measures are there. You know, because if the paint is detrimental to the health, and there could be a situation where one of your that the guy working on the working in the booth, they might catch some, the health problem. They might get some health problem because of it, because of the fumes of the the paint. So you need to ensure that they should be properly. They should be wearing that dress. You could see that this dress, that the all using all the precautionary measures, and then they enter this booth. um, there could be a claim by a employee if they get some problem, health problem. These workers working in the mines and other such sites, they get a lot of health problems, and sometimes they sue their companies for the claims. So safety of the employees working in these booths shall be ensured. Any health issue to employee working in these booths could cause regulatory action against the dealership, right? There would be the standards for it, that when a employee is working in this booth, they should be wearing the specific dress, they should be wearing that mask, etc., etc. So non-compliance with those instructions might result into a health problem to the worker. That we have studied about the health and safety, the things like the topic that we covered in the managing performance, one of the managing performance chapter. There it was uh, it was explained that it is the responsibility of the organization to ensure that the safe and healthy the safe and healthy working environment is provided to the employees. So that topic is quite relevant in this situation specifically, where these paint technicians are working. When we talk about the currency exchange risk, so it's just a little recap of the currency exchange risk. In your management level, the course doesn't go into the detail of currency exchange risk. It's a part of the strategic level of CIMA. So just a brief introduction. Transaction exposure measures the changes in the value of outstanding financial obligations incurred prior to the change in exchange rate, but not due to be settled until after the exchange rate changes. And translation, called accounting exposure, is the potential translation. Is just the book thing, like you do have a subsidiary and you are translating it into your own currency. So the last time the balance sheet was, although the balance sheet have the same assets or the same liabilities, but because of the currency changes in the currency exchange rate, there would be a difference while you would be consolidating it the next year. So that is the translation exposure. Then the concept of the for functional and the presentation currency have also will explained a little bit that if you in case you would be acquiring a subsidiary outside company outside your country well, and there could be then the a matter where you might have to decide that which one would be the functional currency of your subsidiary company. So currency of a primary economic environment, again, you have done a writing assignment on it. So we could I could leave it to you. Briefly, those conditions have been explained here, mainly influences the sales price for the goods and services, currency of the country whose competitive forces and regulations mainly determine the sale price of goods and services, currency that mainly influence the labor, material, and the other costs. So these are some of the condition, and then in a given situation, you will check it that what is their uh, the what mainly influences their sale prices there. So you will relate it to your this point, and then to this point, and to this point. You have done that assignment, so you already know that how you will explain it by relating it. Just not It's not like that you would just be writing a one-liner answer. That would not work. You will have to explain justification. You will have to explain it. Then Cuppcar insurance and finance. Each of the Cuppcar dealership has a team of business manager who meet with the customers after they have agreed to buy a new or used car. Okay. Now the business manager, the role of the business managers. Their role is to offer financing, servicing, and warranty packages. Offer um, financing, servicing, and warranty packages, referred to as the finance and insurance in the corporate, that can generate additional profit for the dealership. So finance can take the form of car loan or leases. You know that providing the bank loans. There was a time when in our country now it has even started that many of the car manufacturers are providing you the financing facility that if you would be buying their car, uh, you will get a cheaper financing from the bank. For the Suzuki, I believe they were promoting their products by offering the 0% financing for a certain time period. So because Suzuki is really suffering, struggling these days, their cars are not very. No, the market is actually going down. There was a one time that they were a big player, but now, except a couple of of their models, the other models are not working so well. So the demand is going down. You know that the Suzuki was. I was reading a news. I shared that with you as well, where that the Suzuki was actually famous for being a economical car, but now their cheapest car is around 3 million. It's between 2.5 to 3 million. So that has become quite expensive. So demand is going down. So the dealerships are suffering because these were the manufacturers who have the dealerships across the country everywhere. They do have the large number of the dealerships. The new manufacturers who have entered the new brand, their dealerships are not said so common. For instance, like if you ask me for the Proton, there are only I think 12 or 8 dealerships in the whole of the country. Only 8 dealerships. Similarly, for the other these companies, now the dealerships, they are trying to expand their dealership network because that is very important. That gives the confidence to the customer. If you do have a dealership close to your house, you would be happy to buy that car because you can take it for the servicing and all that. If there are only the few dealerships, that's not a very good indication. So I shared those news extracts with you from our country just to give you an idea that how this business is working in real world. So the Cuppcar has a relationship with the Bank of Welland, which is a reputable bank. Business managers can explain how banks loan and leases work, and they can assist customers in completion of a loan or a lease application. Cuppcar receives a commission for every successful application application submitted to Bank of Welland. Now there are the two benefits of assisting the customers in the financing and the lease transactions. One is that the customer who doesn't have the buying power to pay outrightly for the car, they could get the financing and they can pay it gradually. So it would be increasing the demand of your cars. And the other one is that you are getting a commission. So there's a two, there are the dual advantage. I would say that by offering these services, you are getting the two types of the advantages. So the customers are free to manage finance with other providers, or they can purchase car with the cash from their savings. Cuppcar doesn't receive any commission from finance packages made independently by customer, right? So if you are arranging your financing directly, Cuppcar obviously would not be getting anything out of it. The other then the service in finance and insurance is the service plans. Those are about the warranties. So customer can buy the service plan that enable them to prepay for annual servicing of up to 3 years. Generally, the first warranty is given by the car manufacturer, which is for the 3 years. So you could get an additional service warranty for another 3 years. The prepayment takes the form of either a single lump sum when the car is purchased, or a series of monthly payments for the duration of the plan. Car manufacturers sell service plans on new cars, with the dealership receiving commission when a customer buys a plan. Cuppcar business managers now advise the warranty actually covers the certain type of the things. Now the general servicing, that then you could get a different type of the actually the warranties. They have not explained it in a great detail, but from our practical experience that, and we understand that you could take the insurance for the different type of the things. Here they have not given the detail about the accidental insurance and the cars to that type of the insurance. That insurance is not given by the car manufacturer. In the real world, at least, they don't provide this insurance. There are the insurance companies which provide that insurance for the damages to the car and all that, which is not covered under the warranty. Generally, from the real world, the warranty is for the parts and the equipments like which are operating, and in normal like driving, if there is a malfunction, then you will go back to the dealership and they will rectify it or they will replace it. But like any damage to your car parts which is due to the accident or some other reason, that is not covered by the warranty given by the manufacturer. So that for that you will have to buy the the warranty separately. So car manufacturer sells service plans on new car, with the dealership receiving a commission when a customer buys a plan. Cuppcar business manager advised customer that the total cost of buying individual services will be more expensive than the cost of the service plan. That's like true that it can be either way. Like if your car is going well and everything is fine, you don't uh, face any problem, there is no problem, then you are paying it, and that you will see that it's expensive. But if unfortunately you face a situation where your car is having some malfunction and there's some problem, then you will be obviously utilizing this warranty. In the business of warranty, it is not like all of the customer avail those services. Many of the customers, they just get the warranty and they don't claim against that warranty anything. This is similar for the insurance. You get the car insurance, and if there is no accident and there is nothing like that, you have paid the premium and you have not actually utilized it. You just had the coverage. Whereas some other people, like they might be having a problem, they might encounter accident, and then they might claim for a insurance company much more than what they have paid, right? So car manufacturer service plan require the servicing to be carried out by the franchise dealership, but not necessarily the dealership that sold the car. Customer who have service plan book their annual service with the dealership. The dealership then invoice the car manufacturer for undertaking the service. So there would be predefined rate for those services, and your dealership would be invoicing the manufacturer for those services which are provided to the customer on behalf of the warranties extended by the manufacturer. So business manager shall have the strong negotiation and relationship management skill to successfully sell the insurance and financing product. Selling service plans brings two types of opportunities for dealership: commission revenue and possibility of performing services under warranties and claiming charges from the dealership. So there's a two like type of the business opportunities for your company by selling these warranties. Now, negotiation, as I told you that when a negotiation, you need to be prepared. In this case, how you could be prepared, you need to have the knowledge of your plans. You need to have the knowledge of all the, the benefits of those warranties, and the if you are talking about the finance lease, so you need to have the complete understanding. You need to have the answer to the all of the question of the customer, that that generally they ask that how much I would be paying in total, like at the end of the 5 year, if I'm getting a financing for the 5 years. So you will need to tell them, you could explain them that how they can use that money in other things instead of paying as a lump sum for the purchase of the car, and that they could give them the benefit, so they could get the financing for the car and use that money for their business, etc., etc. And knowing the customer is very important, their preferences, what type of their preferences are. These are all like the preparation and planning. Then the definition and the ground rules. So ground rules are already defined by the transaction, that there is a car, there is a set price, and then the customers might be having the other options in their mind, that they can get a financing from XYZ bank. So you should be ready to explain them how your financing option is better than the other financing option. So you need to work on the you need to work to get the information of the other financing opportunities as well. So you could compare it and you could convince the customer. Clarification and justification, there would be a lot of questions coming from the customers, So the idea is that you will be, if you see a question in the exam, you will be explaining it like this. Otherwise, you might be finding that how they can prepare for the negotiation. I have told you that how they're gonna prepare for the exam negotiation, for this type of negotiation, how they're gonna define the ground rules. So everything fits in like in the situation. Then the bargain and problem solving. There might be the customer might be asking for for the price of the warranty. They might be telling us that to you that we want a discount, or then you might say that that we cannot offer the discount, but we can make your payment plan easy, that instead of paying for the warranties in a lump sum, you could pay it on a monthly basis, so that would be giving you an advantage. So this type of the things, like this is how it works in the negotiation, right? So you should be very clear that how to otherwise, it on the face of it, it looks like the negotiation is a very simple thing, but negotiation is a really sophisticated thing. If you do it in the real world in a planned manner, you will find that the results are completely different. If you do it in a organized manner, then the results would be different. If you go there in a negotiation meeting without preparation, without making any plan, you will see that the results would be different. So that's important that we understand the importance of the negotiation. Um, then there are the two type of the warranties which you can offer to your customer. One is the on the new car, extended warranty on the new car, and the other one extended warranty on the used car. On the new car, um, new car come with a warranty against manufacturing defects. Manufacturing defect, as I told you, that some system is malfunctioning, like your navigation system started to misbehave, or some other equipment is not operating well. So that would be uh, a problem. So most warranties expire after 3 years, but be they can be for as long as 7 years. Many car manufacturers offer to sell customer extended warranties, which increase the length of the warranty by 2 to 4 years, depending on the manufacturer, right? The car manufacturer offer their dealership commission for the sale of extended warranty. Cuppcar business manager advise the customer to take advantage of those for the reassurance that their cars will be guaranteed against the manufacturing defect for longer. Customers can return their cars to any of their brand franchise dealerships. If a defect arises, the dealership repairs any defects and invoices the car manufacturer, right? So this is for the new car. Again, this is the repetition we have studied about it. Again, as I told you that the when you will be reading all these details of the Cuppcar, you will find that most of the things are being repeated because in the industry portion of your pre-scene, these things has been explained in detail. So effective sales force is critical success factor for the dealership because they would be convincing the customer. So here, you know that the sales people here, your employees are very important. So you need to take care of them and you need to keep them trained. You need to keep them motivated. You need to keep them satisfied. Only then you know that if their employees are satisfied and they're motivated, only then they can generate business for you. Extended warranty used car. Cuppcar sells used cars with a 7-day money back guarantee and a 90-day warranty against any mechanical defects that were present at the time of sale. Customers can buy extended warranty from a third party for the used car. Actually, neither your dealerships nor car manufacturer gives any warranty. They are the third party, then it's insurance company perhaps. Parties that cover the cost of the failure of any component. Cuppcar recommends a particular extended warranty from a third party company in return for a commission from this provider, right? So your company can start providing your own warranties. This could be a situation. So you might have to analyze it, keeping in view your current business model. You will have to evaluate that it would be having an impact on your current business model, right? So warranties extended to customers are the contractual liability. So revenues from the sale of warranties extended by dealership shall be recognized. If your company would be doing that only, then you would do that. This IFRS 15 revenue from the contracts, right? Warranty is a contract actually. Contract between the warranty provider and the car owner that in case of this situation, the warranty provider would be compensating the or providing the services to the car owner. So there is an agreement between the two parties. Insurance is also an agreement. You know that we signed the insurance document and all that. So contractual asset, contractual liability, again, this IFRS 15, uh, we already discussed about it that this is, you know, this is we recognize it under the contract revenue, and we would be recognizing it as the service is provided. You know, as the progress would be made on the contractual relationship, and that progress is the service provision of the service or the time period for which those services are supposed to be provided would be lapsing. So accordingly, you would be recognizing the revenue. The same thing has been explained. You know that in deferred revenue, this you will see that this insurance premium is a deferred revenue. Membership is a deferred revenue. So I kept this slide here. So the warranty is something like that, right? So you are insurance premium actually. You are paying a premium for the services, and that you will be getting those services in the later time. Okay. Then the revenue segments. This is an interesting slide. As I explained in my summary, that given to you the brief summary, that your new car revenues from the new car are 41%, whereas the profit is only 20%. So actually, you know that you are if you will be uh, if you will be collecting, you will be adding all these three parts. So you are and here this like your 80% profit is coming from your 60% sales, and your 20% profit is coming from your 40% sale. 80% profit coming from 60% sale, and your 20% profit coming from 40% sale. So that's an interesting relationship. The sales volume of the finance and insurance is just 7% of your total revenue, whereas the profit from those sales is the 21% of the total profits, right? So that's interesting. So that's interesting in a manner that here how much emphasis your company is giving, that's important now, because that's the part from where you are generating the more profit. But the idea here is that these services cannot be provided if these sales are not made. So it is linked with each other. That's very important. So a student might write that, that the company should be just put, diverting the sources from the new car sales to the finance and insurance, but that would be a wrong approach. The correct approach is that, this if this volume will increase, this would automatically increase. That's very important. If we would be diverting sources from here to here and this volume will go down, then this will also go down. So there is a link between the new car sales and the finance and insurance. That should be very clear in your mind. A student might be, getting confused, and they might think that, these are the standalone sales. Those are not the standalone sales. These sales are actually linked with these sales. So used car 35% sales and 24% profit. Now the parts are 17% and generating the profit of the total profit 35%. So in terms of the nominal value, your largest portion of your profit is coming from your parts and service, but in terms of the percentage, your larger portion is coming from the finance and insurance service. If we compare it with the revenue, revenue is less, but the profit is more. Now, how they are doing it? What do you think that how they are doing it? Each of this segment, now here the lesson that needs to be understood. Please be focused. Each segment is being considered as a responsibility center, and they are calculating the profitability of the each segment. So now new car sales is a different segment of your business, or you could call it a division. So that division has certain revenues and the profits. So all of your segments are the profit centers. All of your divisions are the profit centers, right? Because you are calculating their profit. You are calculating their profit, right? You are calculating the profit from this division. This is finance and insurance is business managers. Business managers are handling it. Parts and service workshop, service manager, they are handling it. Used car, head of the sales of the used car, sales manager, sales executive of the used car. That is the division. Used car, new car, sales manager and the sales executive, they are working in this segment. So you could see that every division is a responsibility center, and you are that you are measuring the performance of the each of the responsibility center. Now here the idea is that their performance is linked with each other. It is not independent performance. And if the performance of the one segment will go down, the performance of the other will also go down. For instance, the performance of the new car is important. Sale of the new car is important for the performance of these two parts, right? And the performance of even these are linked because you are getting the used car in exchange. That's very important, right? So that's something that I wanted you to understand from these two graphs. Although these are the simple graphs, but there's a lot of information hidden in it that I have explained you that what this hidden information is. I have not wrote that in the slide, but I have explained to you that how you should read that information. So requirement of the investment in new and used car is much more than other services being provided by dealership. However, profits are more from associated services. You know that for the new car and the used car, you are investing a lot of money. When you buy a new car to resell, or to buy a used car to resell, you know that your working capital, sort of working capital is stuck there. So, but for these services, you are just employing the people. They are working. You might be incurring a cost here as well because you are allocating a whole segment of your dealership, which is a workshop, right? So that's important. But the idea again that needs to be understood is that the sale of these two segments is largely dependent on the sale of these two segments. It is the derived demand, which is being derived from the demand of um, uh, these um, these two segments, right? I hope that you got it. Okay. So the next slide is the board of directors. Uh, Running operation of the dealership and managing HR function are entirely different from each other, so shall be headed by separately. Like here, they have told us that the human resource and dealership operation are under the same director, same departmental head. That's something I could not understand because running the affairs of the dealership is a completely different thing. Running the dealership and running the affairs of the human resource is something different. They might have their respective heads, maybe the human resource head and then the dealership head, and they are reporting to the chief operating officer. Then it makes sense. But if these are the the functions being headed directly by the COO, then that's probably needs to be reconsidered. Marketing director, then technology director, and the finance director. Each they do have their function, IT related and management accounting and promotional, etc. It's a balanced kind of a board where you do have the five executive director, five non-executive director, but again the structure of the board of director is not something which is tested in uh, at a management level. Establishing a new dealership might require dealership principal to assemble the team. So you know that you are going to establish a new dealership, and you know that you have appointed a principal dealership principal, and he has been given the task to assemble a team for the new dealership um, outlet. So there they could ask you for the explanation of the concept related to the team development. So I have just tried to fix that. The this uh, theoretical concept here that you being the team lead, you need to understand that your team might be passing through these phases of forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. So if there is a question where you have been asked that you are one of your the guy is assembling a team, or they are going to establish a new business where they are getting the team to be together. So you know that you could do that. You could evaluate it from this angle. Now, this is the important part. Business model. This is you need to be focused. I asked you certain question on the business model of Cuppcar. The reason was that I want you to remember it. So, defining the value, how you are defining the value, services and providing services and managing the customer experience. So the same has been written. Cuppcar provide the retail service required by the car manufacturer that have franchised its dealership. It also offer positive experience to the customer who buy its new and the used car. So the positive experience would primarily be from your workshops, from your the business, the business manager providing the positive experience, sales executives are providing the positive experience. So here they have explained that Cuppcar aims to maintain a high volume of sale of a new and used car, which enable the company to maximize the profit come from car sales and from the associated opportunities to provide servicing on customers' cars. Maintaining high sales volume in new cars also ensure that the Cup car make the most of the opportunity to earn sales incentive from car manufacturer, potentially granting a cost advantage over rival, right? When you would be achieving those targets, which makes you eligible for the incentive, it gives you a leverage that you could keep your prices competitive compared to your competitor or your rivals, right? So achieving the target is very important. So understanding how Kapka define, create, deliver, and capture value, that's very important. I have mentioned it here. So creating the value, Kapkar creates ongoing relationship with its customer, its sales executive and business manager provide expert advice, excellent after sales service, removes much of the stress of car ownership. Many customers return to buy their next car or come to Cuppcar because of recommendations from satisfied customers. So create when you are keeping a customer satisfied, they are creating value for you in a sense that they are coming back to you and they are creating value to for your business by referring to the other people by referring the other people to your dealership. So that's how that's that's creating the value. um, Ongoing relationship, providing advice, excellent after sales service, and generating positive perception. Now defining the value, delivering the value, Cuppcar assist customers. Now you have assembled the team, create the value, sales executive, business managers, service manager, etc. Now they are delivering the value by providing the assistance to the customer, by doing the after sales service. Cuppcar assists customer at every stage in acquisition and ownership of their new and used car. Acquisition, purchasing, ownership, when they have owned the car, that you are making their that experience pleasant. So customer facing staff are available to advise and assist customer. Alternatively, customers can order new or used car or book service of a convenience through that delivering online. You are delivering that the value through your dealerships, through your online website, your portal or portal, delivering value, assisting acquisition of used and new cars, providing maintenance and other services. Then capturing the value, Cuppcar sells a wide range of new and good quality used cars, selling high volume of new. Here now the capturing value, sales of high volume of a new car maximize manufacturer sales incentive and create additional opportunity to team to earn commission and sell workshop services. The sale of good quality used car to attract high margin from. So how the customers are capturing the value by getting a good quality cars, how the employees are getting the capturing the value by getting the bonus, how the owners of the dealership or the shareholders of the cup car are getting the benefit by generating the profit margin from their business. So everyone is that they are getting the commission and incentive from the sale of new and used car, as well as from sale of extended warranties, revenues from service and repair work for new and used car. That is, I'm sorry, I forgot to write here. That is the capturing the residual value. That's very important. You need to understand it. And if there is a change in your business model, then perhaps you would be defining the value differently. You would be creating the value differently, delivering it differently, and capturing the value maybe in a different manner. Okay, now this is a business model, how we can apply it on a cup car. You have identified, first of all, in order to define the value, you need to identify your stakeholders. Your stakeholders are basically, that your shareholders are your stakeholder, your customers are your stakeholder, your employees are your stakeholder, society is your stakeholder. So, that you might redefine it or you might define it like it has not been explained here, but there could be a question that you are defining the value that your company would be selling the environmentally sustainable car. You know, so that for that you would be uh, selling the cars of the manufacturers whose carbon emission is under certain limit, right? So identify stakeholder, prioritize. Customer is your top stakeholder. So you have prioritized. Their need is that they want uh, uh, quality service in a good price, right? For the economy car purchasers. And now you have defined the value. We have seen that how you are defined the value. Now how you are creating the value, you are not creating the value alone. You do have the partners. Your partners are the car manufacturers. Your partners are the parts manufacturers. Your partners are the warranty provider companies, insurance companies, the banks. All are your business partners, right? The government, the regulation, those are the business partners. And resources, you do have the human resources, you do have the softwares, you have to have the diagnostic softwares, you do have the training institution which are uh, empowering your resources to get the training, right? And then the processes, you do have the processes developed for the sales team. You There is a way that when a customer comes visit the dealership, there is a way that that customer would be handled by the sales executive, by the business managers, by the workshop guys. You know, then activities are selling activities, then upselling activities, then the maintenance service activities, and output is the a good service and a satisfied customer. This is how you are creating the value. Now, I have explained it with this slide, so I hope that that's making more sense to you. Now, you are delivering, or you have assembled all these teams, the workshop, display area, showroom, car lot, uh, that that you are delivering the value through the segments channel, through your dealership, and online channels. You are delivering the value through your dealership. You are delivering the value by assisting the customer, right? You are this field, your trained team. They assist the customers at each step from buying the car to till that the during the ownership and financing and everything, and capturing the value. We have studied about that. Getting the um, they are getting the benefit. So you don't need to go into the details of the cost model, revenue model. We have not been explicitly mentioned. We have not been told explicitly, but you are getting the value. So at the center of this whole business model is to create a value for the various stakeholder, for the whole ecosystem. And your business environment is surrounded by the markets, technology, risk and opportunities, society, etc., etc. It's a very interesting slide, by the way, to apply on any company. Then the ecosystem, I have briefly explained it here. Your ecosystem is surrounded by social and environment factor, technology, digital disruptions, economic condition of the country, and automotive industry. The government, financing, transportation provider, advertising, rental, manufacturer, consumer, research centers, logistics, IT providers, insurance companies, um, applications like those applications. Uh, these mobile applications, that providing that the insurance companies have their mobile applications, the manufacturers have their used car, the sellers, they do have their applications. This is related to the more of IT. I don't know if it means something else, but this is coming to my mind at this point. Service dealers are here, like you are here. This is the whole ecosystem, and you are a part of that ecosystem. Car dealerships, right? Then digital disruptions, there are a lot of digital disruptions going on. Uh, that the customers are more empowered. They got a lot of information, and that they have such information that they can compare their the services with the services of other. They can compare the services being provided by your dealership with the other dealership. They could compare one car with the other car. They nowadays there is a sheet which tells that this car. Now, this Kia Santa Fe, that the new HEV car has been electric, hybrid electric, that this car has been introduced in our market. So I was looking at the comparison of Havel HEV and this Havel H6 HEV and that Santa of Kia, because this Havel H6 HEV was so popular. So now the Kia has introduced the car in competition to the H6 HEV car, right? So the customers can compare it, that the now in the modern world, that the requirement of the employees at your dealership might go down. There might be for the electric car, let's suppose that the maintenance requirement is completely different. It is completely different. So you need to have a completely different workshop to for the maintenance of a electric car than this mechanical car. So if the electrical cars are introduced in the market and those started to become popular, do you think that your current workshops would be capable enough to handle that? No, they won't be. Then you will have to have a specific workshop. Do you think that your current technician or the workshop guys would be able to handle it? No, they won't be able. You need to have a different workforce as well. So that there would be a disruption. These artificial intelligence, these self-guided car, Tesla, etc. You don't need even the driver. So these disruption would be having an impact on the traditional automotive industry and similarly on the dealerships as well, but that's yet to be seen that what they tell us in the exam situation. For the digital business model, again, for the dealership, it's not really very important, but we have been told that we are having a lot of intangible assets. So probably those are the softwares and the systems. For the dealership, cup car at a level of the cup car, you could have the systems where you are maintaining the information of your inventory, your information of your customers, etc., etc. So for that, you know that you are not in an IT business, so it is always good for your company to buy those solutions from the companies which are expert in the IT system. If you know that if you would have been having this IT function as your function, like operating, you might have a division, that the which develop the application, so you could sell it to the third party as well. Then you might go for some other model, but in the current situation, although you do have a direct information technology, and it is important because uh, knowing the customers and doing the data mining is very important in order to mine the trends of the customer preferences. But as such, you are not a IT company, so for you, the buying these solutions is an is the most appropriate option. Then again, that I forgot to change this. This is that needs to be amended. Like for your company, the orchestration ecosystem, I will change the slide. There is an intense competition, and there is a regulator who is managing the dealership. The manufacturer actually gives the direction. The price is given by the so tight orchestration, and there is a high there is a low complexity in a wise. So I would say that again, although this is not your company's automotive dealership, so I forgot to change it. Like this is your company would be here. There is a tight orchestration. Tight orchestration means that the rules are defined by the manufacturer, rules of the game for the new car sellers. For the used car, I believe that there is a loose orchestration. Nobody is used car would be falling here, and the new car would be falling here. Tight orchestration, but low complexity. Dealership business is not very complex. It is simple business. It is all about the sales pitch, you are creating. So here, that we have seen that from the pre-scene, every dealership is fending for themselves, right? So they are fighting with the other dealerships, but if that you do have the multiple dealer, if they would start to undercut each other, they would be making the losses. So if they would stay together, that in some countries, the dealerships, even they sign an agreement that they would not be going beyond a certain price. They will not get into the price war, because that would not be in the benefit of any of the dealership. What they will say that we will be competing on the other fronts of the business. We will not be fighting on the price. So that's why that you could say that they could fall under this wolf pack. Again, you don't need to remember the names. All you need to understand is that what type of the competition is there in the dealership industry. So okay, I will change that slide, by the way. Supported generic strategies, differentiation is the strategy you are adopting, because you are creating a differentiation on the basis of the quality of the service. This low cost pricing strategy for sale of new car, where it give like you are trying to reduce the price, but it's not exactly the low cost strategy, because the margins that you are getting as a commission and the discount that you are giving to the customer is not so significant. So it is all about the customer experience. What type of the service you are giving to them, that differentiation is the strategy that you are adopting. Let's take another break. Okay,